tell me your name.
Ted Prodack.
Yeah. And what brings you here today and has you on this bus from Montgomery to Selma, Alabama?
I've lived in Atlanta for over 40 years now, and originally from New York and way back before that from Palestine. And what brought me on this particular trip is that I've participated in a group in Atlanta that's trying to work on some community work in a community that has been seriously oppressed by the police of Atlanta, and trying to see if we can find a way to help people pull together to create their own community policing, free themselves from this police constant harassment. So we're critiquing both the police tactics of stop and frisk, where they arbitrarily just stop everybody in that community whenever they want to for no good reason. Of course, it's an African-American community, as you might guess. And then, secondly, also, we're trying to develop a program to help former prisoners to get their records expunged so they would have access to jobs and social services that, because of their records, they are being denied. So essentially, creating a new kind of slave class in the United States.
Yeah.
And those are the two things that together we're working on, and because our group is working on them, we were notified about this, and 3 of us are here actually participating.
Okay. So most of your activism work is done in Georgia?
In Atlanta, yeah.
In Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. Okay. Have you read Michelle Alexander's new book, The New Jim Crow, Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colorblindness?
Yes. I read her, not the new book, no, I read her, The New Jim Crow.
Yeah.
Is that the book you're referring to?
Yeah, that's the book you're referring
to.
to.
Yes, that I have read.
Okay.
That's basically what she's saying, essentially. Yeah. I mean, it's remarkable how the entire slave framework, based on a racial white supremacist concept, has adapted and transformed itself. I really didn't think it could after the breakdown of the old Jim Crow. You know, I was involved in that struggle. Not major, but just, on marches and events and so on. But they managed to find a way. And that tells me that even when this is overcome, they will still find another way. I know that sounds almost pessimistic, but in a way, it's also saying that people are going to continue to struggle against it now and forever.
So you see, the struggle for civil and human rights is a continuous struggle.
Yeah, all over the world, and it's one world now.
And so would you say that the purpose of this march here is to address the unfinished business of the civil rights struggle?
Certainly it's partly in that. Yeah. I think it's also to educate everyone, including myself. I mean, I'm learning things from the other participants that are just phenomenal, like this lady whose daughter has been sent away for 234 years for something she was not even involved in. And then she put on her leaflet how this white judge spoke to this all-white jury in Dothan, Alabama, which is a community that's over 60% African-American. How they could even come up with an all-white jury is beyond me, but they did. And he said to them, as a white man speaking to a white jury, don't worry about the Constitution. It doesn't apply to us. We do what we want to do here.
It's amazing, man. In 2011, the Civil War was over in 1865. And it's clearly, as Michelle Alexander clearly stated in her book, that there are more African Americans under control of the criminal justice system than there were in slavery in 1850.
Yes, and in some ways, I would almost argue with her that the new Jim Crow is, I mean, this is going to sound strange, worse than the old Jim Crow in one respect. The old Jim Crow didn't break families apart. Everybody was isolated and segregated. The new Jim Crow, by creating this prison class of black males, essentially breaks apart or prevents the formation of a solid black family. Because the men are in jail, or when out of jail, have all these restrictions on them and can't earn a decent living because of the felony conviction. So that they are much less likely to be able to form families and function together as units. And that, in a way, is worse than the old Jim Crow.
That's an interesting insight, man. It's the first time I've heard that. And I'll definitely be thinking about that, because the devastating impact on the community and families is something that needs to be articulated, because people tend to look at the individual and the impact on the individual,
Obviously, that's critical, but
Yeah.
when you look at the pattern, it can also
yeah.
give you some